Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and favorite astrologer. And this video is all about reflection, healing, and new beginnings. I talked about this in my monthly video, but we're going to redo it and break it down weekly. This week, Neptune Neptune is in Aries and it retrogrades. I'll explain what that means, but the secrets will be revealed. Just getting straight to the point. Anyway, but Venus enters Virgo. We talk about that. Venus also has some shady stuff entering Virgo. Venus is the planet of aesthetics and relationships, so things get a little sticky or get a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, a little weird. Okay. Mercury it's retrograding, if you didn't know. And it's going to be sitting on top of the sun, which is called a Cazimi. That means clarity. We have a new moon in Cancer. Oh my gosh, we have so much this week. I'll break it all down. What do all these transits mean personally and for the collective? I'm also going to put some tarot because I do that every week. So grab your coffee. I prefer a matcha or a green tea, and maybe even open your birth chart. Okay. So we can really break this down together. And let's get into this week's astrology.
Danyell, Carmelita, oh, can't you see? The stars align, just come to me. Tarot and cosmos, your fate's inside. Danyell, Carmelita, shining bright.
Oh, sorry. Little delayed there, a little slow. Here are the dates for the week. July 7th, we have Neptune. It's retrograding in Aries on the 7th. July 9th, we have Venus officially entering Virgo. I'll talk about who that's going to affect. Okay. Is it going to affect you? You will see. And July 10th and July 13th, that also deals with Venus with Virgo. Venus immediately when it enters Virgo, it's going to be sitting on a south node. I'll explain what that means. On the 13th, Venus will be squaring Uranus, but when Venus enters Virgo right away, which is on the 9th, we'll be feeling that energy. I'll explain what that means. But on the 12th, this is an individual day energy. We have the Cazimi, the clarity, the sun in Cancer is going to conjunct Mercury. On the 14th, we have the new moon in Cancer. Okay. If you guys are new here, please do your due diligence because everyone else who's not new already knows you're supposed to like, subscribe, and share. Everyone knows that. And if you are watching this and you really love my content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and whatever that thumbs up. If you are listening to this via podcast, hello. Do I sound amazing? I think my voice is like a celebrity voice. But the South Node is entering Leo. Celebrity is not the right word. It's just very appealing. Okay. Anyway, but do what you need to do to help boost my content. Okay. Because it is free for you. You can download this podcast or you can share this podcast. If this episode helps you, share it with a friend. If you know someone who really loves astrology and tarot, come on. If you even want to do one better, leave a comment below. Just throw down your zodiac sign. And even if you put your big three, I'll give you a reading real quick. I'll give you a reading anyway. But if you are just watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, just know that I am available on Apple, on all the podcasts, on X, on Facebook, on Twitch. I have Instagram and TikTok too. So go ahead if you want to do the extras, follow me there. But let's go. Oh, also, I have a private community. That's really what I'm supposed to be doing. I have a private community. It is the price of coffee. Okay. A cup of coffee. A cup of coffee might cost more than my private community. There, I break down the conspiracy theories of a lot of things there. I give you extra readings. I have daily readings. I have monthly readings. I have weekly readings. I have special yes or no questions. And if you have any questions about your chart, we break it down there. Okay. So let's get started. And I should do a drum roll. Do I have that? No. Yes. Let's get started with the week, okay? So we are going to jump right to it. I want to talk about Neptune retrograding. I have my chart here, but if you are listening to this, it doesn't matter, okay? Neptune retrograded July 7th, but this is going to affect us for a good minute. So I'm never too late. Okay. Actually, I do this live podcast every Monday. It was my birthday though. Go shorty. It's your birthday. I am a true Cancer. I am a true homebody. Okay. I love the moon, looking at the moon, having moon stuff all around my house and jewelry. I am a true Cancer. My car is white. If you didn't know, that's very Cancer color. Also, too, if you really like to know astrology and aesthetics, I have videos on that. So go ahead and check that out. But we're talking about Neptune. We're talking about the current energy, okay? Neptune is retrograding in Aries. And let me tell you what it means. First of all, Neptune, the planet, and where's Neptune on my chart here? Here, it doesn't matter the house, it's just in the sky. It's retrograding. Any planet that's red means it's retrograding. Pluto's retrograding currently right now. Where Mercury retrograding. That's the most annoying. The reason why Mercury retrogrades, people only talk about that, is because it's closest to us. Neptune, the bigger planets, when they retrograde, it really represents the collective. Can hit you individually if it's on your personal planet, but it's there for a good minute. Okay. Anyway, so Neptune is the planet of spiritual awakening, dreams and intuitions, your psychic experiences, that gut feeling. It's about your faith, your intuition. It's really creative. So it's music, film, photography, dance, poetry, artistic inspiration, but it's the energy when you feel it. You know, when you look at that art piece or when you have that poem and it makes you cry. I don't know. I never had a poem that made me cry, but I had a poem. I'm like, oh, I really feel that. That's that Neptune. Okay. And then also compassion and empathy, volunteering, charity, healing professions. It's all about releasing. So forgiveness, letting go, shadow work, emotional release. This is Neptune, okay? I'm still talking about Neptune. It's escapism too. There's drugs added here. It's about avoiding reality, doom scrolling, fantasy, addiction, identity dissolution, okay? It likes to, whatever it touches, it just likes to make it poof, disappear. You can't see it. It's an illusion, a fantasy, darling. What appears here is not really happening. Very Hollywood. Neptune represents Hollywood and it's retrograding. We'll talk about that. But also unconditional love, astrology, tarot, meditation, anything dealing with prayer, dreams, symbolism. Again, releasing, letting go, surrendering, accepting the uncertainty. Okay. Now, that's what we have when it's talking about you personally. If we're talking about the collective, it is like a spiritual movement, a religious movement. Again, Hollywood, the film industry, the entertainment industry, anything dealing with visual telling, okay? The music industry, because it deals with that creativity. Pharmaceuticals, that's the mundane. Anything dealing with ocean and water, flooding, shipping, hurricanes, scandals, and secrets. Because again, deception, misinformation, propaganda, conspiracy theories, cover ups, hidden agendas, whistleblowers. You know what's so interesting? As Neptune's retrograding, because it started retrograding yesterday, I'm filming this live July 8th. So if you're listening to this or watching this, I'm a day late, okay, for July 7th. But I want you to understand what I think the court case happened yesterday or started yesterday. And it was the court case of the guy who did the shooting for Charlie Kirk. I'm not in the know, but my spidey senses says there's a lot of conspiracy theories with that. So this court case is going to be very interesting with Neptune retrograding in the sign Aries. We'll talk about what Aries represents, but Neptune still represents charities, humanitarian aid. So anything dealing with refugees or nonprofit. It's about substance again. I mean, not substance abuse. So mental health, addiction, whistleblowers too. They come out when Neptune's retrograding. Artificial reality, because it's fake. It's an illusion. The reality is not there, okay? And any type of weather issues. Now, Aries is, okay, so Neptune, the planet, I'm saying this for all my beginners, but it's okay if you're very advanced in astrology. We're talking, we're having tea here, right? Neptune is in the sign Aries, okay? So everything that I just said is the major theme, but it's added with this extra element of fire, okay? And Aries is your identity, it's your personal image, it's self discovery, it's becoming your true self, it's new beginnings. You know, when I say on TikTok, I'm doing a reset, that's that Aries energy, okay? It's courage, it's bravery, it's confidence, it's taking risk, it's independence, it's leadership, it's freedom, it's self reliance, it's motivation, it's your ambition, it's your drive, and physical energy too, like your exercising, your athletics and strength. My high school daughter, My daughter, who's in high school, who's my youngest, kept saying she's going to have a reset. That's that Saturn in Aries and that Neptune in Aries. Did it happen? She was serious about it, but when it came, no, it didn't happen. Anyway, she was going to have a reset branding. That's what she said she was doing. Anyway, healthy assertiveness, right? Because you're speaking up. You're setting, well, not setting boundaries. You're advocating for yourself, okay? Personal growth, authentic action. Also, Aries, that's it personally, but for the collective, it is dealing with war, okay? Military, armed forces, national defense, police, anyone who has that gun, are those weapons, are sharp objects, are knives, are deals with blood. So you could talk about the first responders or EMT, rescue workers, emergency response, war, conflict. I said that leadership. It is, the first, the original. Original is more Aquarius and Uranus, but starting the original as it starts. Sports competition. Let's see. I think the World Cup is over. I'm not sure. Let's see how that plays out when Neptune retrogrades in Aries. Okay. But being an entrepreneur, surgery as well, because Aries deals with that. I said blood and sharp objects. Any type of transformation, though, is more Scorpio, but again, it's a fire sign. So we could be dealing with some heat in the water because it's Neptune. Any weapons. Yes. So that's what we have. And Aries energy moves very fast. It's a trailblazer. That's a better word than originality, than original. Okay. Yes. So that is what we have. On the negative side of Aries, things could be very impulsive because I said it moves fast. There's anger, there's aggression, there's self centeredness, burning out, the burnout, acting before thinking, difficult for accepting help because you're the entrepreneur, you're thinking about yourself kind of energy. So let's talk about Neptune and Aries. And I have a whole video on Neptune and Aries separately. So go ahead and look for that. It's somewhere. I'll probably link it down below if I remember. But Neptune and Aries is like yourself and you're being more faith based, or you're having spirituality, or you're having a charity for self. It gives that GoFundMe energy even stronger. But a courage to follow your calling, discovering who you really are, redefining your confidence. Being intuitive and being a leader, using your intuition. Oh, I was reading a book about, oh, here it is. It's actually a fiction book. It is called The God of the Woods. And a mom, they're making it seem like she's crazy, but she's really intuitive about her kid missing. Anyway, very Cancer themed too, because she has these dreams or whatever. And she's a mom. Okay. But Neptune, all about the intuition, but being a leader and having that intuition and healing that inner warrior, having the anger and a rage in a competition, but instead of fighting others, you're fighting for yourself. Okay. Living authentically, following your intuition over fear, goes over the thing I just said earlier, being an entrepreneur and having creativity, when it comes to the poetry and the entrepreneur and the artist, compassionate assertiveness, becoming the hero of your own story. As a collective, this is either a new spiritual movement, redefining leadership because you want to be authentic, you want to be compassionate. We'll see that probably happening. And I'll talk about what the retrograde means. But military defense, Aries rules war, Neptune rules ideas. This could be very much changing military philosophies. Let's see how that plays. Again, AI, whistleblowing, secrets being revealed about AI. New heroes, too, can emerge with this energy. People may value the teachers, the humanitarians, the innovators, the spiritual leaders, the people who are giving and compassionate. Again, trauma and having healing with that. Could be dealing more with Pluto, but whatever. Entrepreneurship, and there is a revolution towards it. Like the small businesses start to fight. We'll see how that plays out. But with Neptune and Aries also deals with false prophets, fake leaders, worshiping a hero, escapism disguised as spirituality, blind idealism, identity confusion, following charismatic influencers without using your discernment, your spiritual and the ego and I and selfishness with spirituality, acting on intuition without being grounded in reality. So be aware of that. Now it's retrograding. What does retrograde mean? Retrograde means that there's reflection. A lot of RE words, all of the RE words. Okay. So there's reassessment, there's reviewing, There's revisiting or revision, reconnecting. Retrogrades also could be delays. It could be changing the course of things and having a correction of what direction it's going. There could be more internal energy. So there's internal growth. There's hidden things that come to the surface. They start to be revealed. Also, retrogrades can help you finish what was left incomplete because you're redoing the cycle and now you're going to finish it. So, old lessons return so they don't have to return again. Be aware of that. Now, Neptune retrograding in Aries. Instead of asking, what do I want? Neptune retrograde asks, why? Why do I want this? Okay. You're going to be reviewing yourself, the leader, someone who's starting first, someone who's winning, someone who's competing. There's reviewing of that. Every time we have retrogrades, it repeats itself. So something could be repeating and reconnecting with the purpose. Intuition and your intuition can get very strong. Be careful, not be careful, be open to the symbolisms that's happening here, healing the inner warrior, releasing false confidence. I think we're going to be questioning who is the leader. We're going to be listening. The answers will be answered, hopefully, with conspiracy theories and false narratives be exposed, spiritual shifts, military and defense, the philosophy of that may change. Let's see what happens in Hollywood, okay? With people who are all about the eye or new people in Hollywood, good or bad, but I think some strong themes with that. Confusion about direction, escapism, victim mentality. Let's see what happens with the drugs, okay? Mercury is retrograding, but Neptune retrogrades from July 7th to December 12th, okay? So unlike Mercury retrograde, Neptune retrograde isn't about the daily inconveniences. That's why we dislike Mercury retrograding so much, but it's about slow spiritual awakening. It's about removing illusions. It's about the secrets being revealed, the darkness being brought to light, and redefining your identity over several months, okay? Now, I want to talk about the storyline of Mercury. I keep saying Mercury, of Neptune retrograding, okay? Once Neptune retrogrades, okay, we are going to see this beautiful trine with Jupiter in Leo. It's very positive. This is considering the spirituality, the creativity, the confidence, the inspiration. Jupiter expands those things. Okay. So, a lot of increasing in your faith, in your hope, in your creativity, in your vision, in your intuition, in your compassion and spiritual wisdom, being artistic, being creative, being compassionate, all that becomes bigger. Leo energy gives you the fire and drive. They're both fiery. But it makes it become on stage in its acceptance. Okay. Launching a creative project, writing a book, starting a podcast, teaching, speaking publicly on stage, ministry. Fire signs are very passionate and they like to motivate others. So that happens a lot of coaching. So this is very abundant. If there is something to secretly that you want to put on blast and have the courage to do it, this is the time to do it within these 6 months here. Neptune also retrograding in Aries is sextile Pluto, and Pluto's in Aquarius. And it's all about communication. Okay. Also, too, this is a minor grand trine. This is a talent triangle here. Very positive. Neptune provides the vision. Pluto transforms the systems. It adds the intensity. It adds the rebirth. How do we create lasting change? This is all about having deep healing, psychological breakthroughs, spiritual transformation, collective evolution, innovative solutions. Okay. Very positive. Great time to communicate a lot. Great time to use the AI and technology. If you drive the Waymos, maybe this is the time to be bold and do it. Neptune on a positive light. Everything I said about compassion and being creative inwardly. There's a lot of healing with this energy, and there's a lot of abundance and luck with that. Okay. So take advantage while Neptune is retrograding in Aries. Now, during Leo season, Jupiter's in Leo, but all of these planets, Mercury eventually will be in Leo, the sun will be in Leo. When they go into Leo, this is amazing. Okay. It really works while Neptune's retrograding. Again, new possibilities, more purpose, your gifts, communication gets better. All that happens when Leo season happens. So buckle up. Summer's going to be very positive when it comes to creativity and charity and love. Okay, now also too during Leo season, Leo represents the stage. Okay, so again, if anything dealing with court, because sometimes I think of the court being more of a stage in a show that would be more played out, and maybe some secrets will be revealed, or maybe they can hide it even better. I don't think every time Neptune retrogrades, I feel like the secrets can't hide. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, to another chapter, that's the first chapter of Neptune retrograding. The second chapter is during Libra season, and that's around September and October. And when all these planets here move into the sign Libra, everything changes. It's in opposition. It doesn't see eye to eye. Neptune begins to um, yeah. So let's see how the delusions and illusions start to play when it comes to the couples or the team versus the individual. And instead of asking what inspires me, it's like, how can you inspire us? Why aren't you inspiring us? Why don't you care about us? Or why do we have to do something together when I want to be individual? That kind of energy. Relationships become more of the mirror kind of energy. Okay. People may challenge your beliefs or your identity and your direction. Libra is very passive aggressive. Okay. It likes to please others. Aries is all about, like, I'm not people pleasing. I have a strong belief. So let's see how that plays out. May not be the best. Also, too, while it's in Libra season, Neptune starts retrograding. It gets close, not Neptune, Saturn. Saturn starts to retrograde. It gets closer to Neptune. So this is when things gets really serious. This is when we deal with some karma and some consequences. Also, the conspiracy theories with the government start to play out, especially in the themes of war that happens. What are you building is what Saturn will ask, and Neptune it says, what are you dreaming? And together, dreaming, making the dream a reality. Is it realistic? Actually, okay, dreams become more practical, visions must be more disciplined, faith becomes more committed energy, you be more committed in your faith. Fantasy, that stage over. This is reality of the self, of you being an entrepreneur, you being a boss, or something with your physical body. Again, I always like to bring up Ozempic and the peptides. That goes with this energy too, because Neptune is in charge of all pharmaceuticals, and Aries is the physical body. Okay, so Neptune dreams, Saturn builds, Neptune inspires, Saturn creates the structure and the boundaries, and together they're asking, can you turn that dream into reality? Can you build it? Can you be realistic? Can you think of long term energy when you are trying to, and also too, when you are trying to set boundaries? And I have to make sure I always finish what I'm saying, because sometimes I don't. But Neptune doesn't like boundaries. Saturn likes boundaries. So a lot of people are like confused with that. But it's kind of like the borders, right? We have borders in America, and then illegal immigrants, or I don't know what you call them because now everything's a new term, but people who are not from America, which I would say they're illegal immigrants, if they cross that border, which there is a border, but for some reason the border was not there. That's that Neptune and Saturn conjunction as well. A lot of other conjunctions, we'll get into that. It gets a little deeper. I mean, not other conjunctions, a lot of other themes when Neptune and Saturn conjunct. We'll get into that a little bit more deeper as we get closer. Anyway, but closing it out around December, December 12th, Neptune goes direct. And that's when the illusions and the fog comes back. Okay. Things, hopefully during this retrograde, you see clearly, you are aware, the internal intuition and your gut and your feelings, all that is stronger. And when it starts to go direct, then the secrets are still there. Okay. So who is this going to affect? Because a lot of people like to know, is this going to personally affect me? First, let me see. I have Sandra. Hello, Sandra. Danyell, happy summer 2026 to you and yours. You're looking so very fine. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am feeling myself with this hat. Okay. I've realized I don't wear my hats. So you might see me with a lot more hats. Taking notes. Yeah, take your notes. Okay. Let's see who this Neptune and Aries, besides the collective. I already told you collectively, who's going to affect. But is it going to affect you if you have early Aries placements? Of sure. Yes. Okay. If you're in Aries, yes, it's going to affect you. Fire signs, Leos, and my Sagittarius. This is very positive for you. Everything that I said in a positive light will be positive for you. Now, there may be some challenges with my cardinal signs. Those are my Cancers here, my Capricorns, and my Libras. This is more early degrees for you. There will be some issues there. Okay, meaning early degrees, if you have your planet at like 1 to 5, I think maybe let's say 10 degrees, this will definitely affect you. Okay. Yes. So now let's go on to July 9th. And this is where we have Venus. And this week is really about Venus. Okay. I mean, we have some big doozies with the new moon in Cancer, but Venus entering Virgo. Okay. First of all, Venus, the planet, and where's Venus here? Where's Venus? Yeah, officially entering Virgo. If you see immediately, once it hits 0 degrees in Virgo, it starts to touch the South Node, will eventually go into Leo. But before it goes into Leo, it's got to handle some business with some aesthetics or even court. Okay. Also too, it's just because I was just watching the trial with the guy who I don't know even know his name, the guy who supposedly pumed Charlie Kirk. Okay. Anyway, but Venus is going to immediately touch the South Node, and it's immediately going to have opposition with the North Node, and it's immediately going to have some problems with Mars and Uranus conjunct in the sign Gemini. So, yes, not that fun, Venus entering Virgo, but let's talk about it. Alone, Venus, again, is the planet of love, self worth, money, beauty, pleasure. It's, if you got the great food, if you're at the spa, if you're on a vacation, if you're relaxing, that's Venus, okay? Also, relationships, whether it's a business partner, a spouse, or a best friend. Also, creativity and art. Not the same as Neptune. It's just making things beautiful, not making you feel things, okay? Being diplomatic, Venus likes the peace, the balance, the cooperation, negotiations. Hence why we have fairness, justice, and law. That's Venus. So a lot of court dealings with Venus, a lot of court dealings with Jupiter as well. Also, too, I forgot to say, during Leo season and Jupiter being in Leo, very Taylor Swift energy. Every time Venus is in Leo, Taylor Swift comes up. Okay. Now Jupiter's in Leo. Taylor Swift is had the hugest wedding ever. That's Jupiter and Leo, if you didn't know. Also, Beyonce has a big thing with Leo. I think they both have astrologers working for them. So they use Leo to their advantage and it works for them. But there we go. Anyway, but back to Venus and Virgo. Venus is also about what you value, your priorities, also natural attraction, so, like, you attract money, you attract people, you attract experiences. That's Venus, darling. Okay. Venus is in charge of our financial market, the banks, luxury markets, retail, international relationships as well. You could say Jupiter, but is it our allies? That's Venus. Women issues, the womb, um, fertility, even though you could think there's some other signs that deals with fertility, but Venus deals with that woman aspect and woman's rights and gender and all that stuff. Female energy, also a team, very Venus. Fashion, beauty, makeup, aesthetics, marriage. I said that. Luxury goods. Yes. Okay. So now you understand what Venus is. Now, when Venus enters the sign Virgo, Virgo is all about health and wellness and your daily routines and being organized and service. Is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is over there retrograding. So whatever it's doing, it's affecting Venus. So there's another doozy. But anyway, Venus in Virgo is all about service, self improvement, practical thinking, working. It's the worker bee, work ethic, attention to details, healing the physical body, and publicly, collectively, Venus and Virgo is there's a focus of healthcare, the workforce, agriculture, food, skill development, like trade schools, apprenticeships, getting certified for stuff, public health, data and analytics. Virgo energy is all about the tailor. Venus and Virgo is like going to get your clothes tailored. service industry, animals, small animals, the vets, and all that stuff. So Venus in Virgo is like you love through acts of service, not really through words. You love through breaking down things and analyzing it. So practical love, wellness, and beauty. Finding someone at the gym, finding someone at the doctor, organizing your finances in your home to have that relaxation. A lot of financial planning, budgeting when Venus is in Virgo, and saving, refining the beauty, looking more clean and aesthetically simple and practical. The quiet luxury, not quiet luxury, more looking healthy kind of energy, improving relationships, skill development, service orientated business, simplifying your life. Venus in Virgo, I can see myself already decluttering the closet. That's a whole nother issue. Okay. Do not come up here and try to do intervention. I'm trying. Okay. But that's Venus in Virgo. But the shadow side of Venus in Virgo is overthinking relationships, wanting to be perfect in aesthetics and looks, even like getting surgery because you want that Virgo energy. Very Michael Jackson. He was Virgo. Being overcritical, trying to fix your partner, critical of your partner, analyzing paralysis, becoming too focused on flaws, difficulty accepting compliments, confusing productivity with self-worth. Virgos love to be busy. So Venus in Virgo is like you and your partner are really, really busy. So that it could be like the work thing. Okay, so let's talk about July 9th is when Venus will enter Virgo, and that's what we have here. And while it's in Virgo, Mercury is the ruler of Virgo and it's retrograding. So that's great in the sign Cancer. But it will go direct while it's in Virgo. So it'll get better with that. But once Venus enters Virgo, it will conjunct the South Node. It will also trine Chiron at 0 degrees. So this is a very strong degree here, these two. So we'll talk about that. But it will be squaring this conjunction, the Mars and Uranus conjunction. July 13th, we will have a quincunx with Pluto, meaning that things will be a little awkward. Okay. I'll explain it all. And then August 6th, Venus will leave Virgo and go into Libra. Talk about aesthetics here. Okay. But Venus in Virgo is all about refinement. And yeah, let me see if I have. Okay. Mercury rules Virgo. Virgo. I keep saying Virgo. Mercury, yes, is the ruler of Virgo, but Mercury is ruling Venus. Um, Mercury becomes the dispositor of Venus. Mercury is still retrograding in Cancer. So a lot of emotions, a lot of sensitivity, a lot of redoing in relationships, revisiting that old fling or family matters involved with you having some harmony and balance, reviewing some financial decisions, a lot of healing the child wound, the childhood patterns, reconnecting with people from your past is what you get because Mercury is retrograding in Cancer. Little sensitivity in relationships. Now, Venus conjunct that South Node, which officially happens July 10th. But once Venus enters Virgo, it hits. Okay, this is the South Node is all about releasing in the past and maybe embracing some peace, maybe because you need to release that past, or maybe you're redoing something from the past. Okay, that could be happening. A lot of looking back. Venus governs money and love, right, and beauty and self worth, and the South Node is often bringing stuff back to focus with that. So you're looking at something about aesthetics that you used to do. You're looking at your self worth. How did you used to feel confident? Is that the truth now? Things like that. Let me see what else. Karma, past lifetime things, familiar patterns, comfort zones, old habits, even emotional baggage. And it could be emotional baggage with the relationship. So a past relationship could be returning. It could be an ex, and it could be kind of draining. Okay, that could be happening. Karma with the relationship. If you are someone who cheated on someone in the past, guess what? It's coming to bite you in the ass, and maybe you're not aware. Well, guess what? This here is going to wake you up July 9th, okay? Releasing being perfect. Asking yourself, am I expecting perfection instead of appreciating progress? I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Am I accepting perfection instead of appreciating progress? Okay? Oh, I just realized I need to call my daughter. to wake up. Hold up. Wait a minute. 1 second here. 1 second.
Cancer sun, I feel where you don't.
Okay, anyway, but back to Venus and Virgo. Healing your self worth, reviewing some finances. I said that already. But the South Node is going to bring something from the past. So, karma, destiny, let's see. Now, it could be good or it could be bad. It's like, why am I back here? Kind of energy. There's an opposition towards your future. So that's why it could be bad. You know, your future, the Pisces energy is where the North Node is, and it's about your faith, your trust, your compassion, your surrendering, intuition, divine timing, and emotional flow. Now, I did a video on the North and South Node. Check that out. It will explain a lot more with this, and you just add Venus to it. But in Eastern astrology, the South Node is positive. In Western astrology, the South Node is negative. It's like you're doing something and you need to move towards your future, and in what Eastern astrology, the South Node is this is positive. So this is why I can't really say if it's positive or negative. I do also too when there's conjunctions, when two planets are sitting close together, you can't really say it's positive or negative. I think that this is going to be positive because it's trining Chiron, that's at 0 degrees. And there's a lot of healing here, healing of the physical body and what you value. Venus also is a ruler of Chiron. So a lot of healing. The moon is in Taurus that day that it enters Venus. It won't be, there the whole time while Venus is in Virgo, but it's still giving emotional healing and balance there. But this opposition to the North Node of what your future is, it's not seeing eye to eye. So could be some micromanaging or self criticism there, or yeah, be aware of that. Not forgiving energy is what you have, and just a lot of repeating something. Let me see. Growth, destiny, new lessons is what that is. Okay, but it trining Chiron and Taurus. This is could be dealing like healing with self-worth, your money, your finances, your security, even the physical throat there, body image or stability. Yeah, excellent time for any type of healing though, or improving the finances. Great time for that. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we have. Venus squares Uranus though. So while we have this healing stuff, that's great. But Uranus and Mars is sitting there angry. Okay. I say angry because that Mars adds to anger. But Mars brings action, Uranus brings surprise. Gemini is all about communication. So unexpected relationship developments, surprise breakups, financial market vitality. Ugh. Ugh, I just think of the stocks not working there. Viral social media moments, because this is very social media energy. New beauty to Gemini energy and Uranus. New beauty and fashion trends not really working out because it's weird and quirky. Too out of the box, too futuristic, and no one's ready for that. Okay, shifting public opinions. While Venus is in Virgo, it wants to do something for the it wants to do something from the past that's clean, like maybe that clean girl aesthetic energy, but you want to do something that's weird and it's like doing too much, especially with the Gemini. Gemini likes to have it all. Anyway, personally, there could be something that you're attracted to, or you want your personal freedom, or you're changing a friendship, or impulsive spending. Don't like that. Unexpected conversations, last minute changes in plans. Get ready for that. Now, on the 13th, Venus will scooch over a little bit and it will quincunx. This energy will also quincunx this, and I didn't even look at that. Okay, so okay, so these two things are happy together, but they are not happy at 4 degrees. 4 degrees is a Cancer degree. Again, it's something dealing with the past. There's something that's quite uncomfortable with your compassion, again, love and creativity, and maybe even faith. Also, there's an adjustment that needs to happen. It could be dealing with power dynamics, again, restructuring the finances or recognizing what's unhealthy. This is also power control, and it's like you can't see it or as an illusion. Maybe you thought you had the power and it's not there. But there's something regarding a relationship. And maybe the relationship was an illusion and it's very intense energy. There needs to be an adjustment. Okay. Also, too, Mercury going direct in Virgo, and Mercury stations direct would change how Venus and Virgo will be acting. Again, hopefully, the repeating in the past that will clear up, especially as it leaves that South Node energy. Conversations become clearer, decisions become easier, plans be moving forward with the finances. All that gets better. So be aware of that. Venus in Virgo, sure, things are about practicability, but there is going to be something added with intensity. There is going to be something added with deception, because you are dealing with that Neptune here, and also to a lot of surprises and quirkiness. Who Venus and Virgo? Who is it best for? Is best for all my Earth signs. So if you are a Capricorn, if you are a Taurus, Venus and Virgo, good for you. And not just your sun sign, but any placement. So if you have a moon in Taurus, your emotions in your home, maybe you're decorating, right? If you have a Venus in Capricorn, the aesthetics, you clear it out. The finances gets a little bit better too. Okay. So those things work for you. Who does it not get along with? Okay. Virgo energy is not compatible with mutable signs. So Gemini placements, be aware, okay, of the finances and aesthetics and the conversations that are happening, even with your peer friends, may not be working the best for you. Also, Sagittarius, a lot of issues with you. Maybe you want it all, and Virgo is like, clean it. Be simple, be practical. Both of these energy wants it all. And definitely Pisces can't see eye to eye. There's an opposition here. Maybe you are sacrificing a lot towards some charity or something like that, or sacrificing your harmony and it's not working. Okay. So you do have that too. Now, let me pull some cards. I didn't pull any for Neptune and Aries. I'm going to pull some for Neptune and Aries, and we'll pull Neptune and Aries retrograding, and I'll pull some cards for Venus while it's in Virgo. So Neptune and Aries is, we have the Four of Wands, a lot of stability, a lot of grounded energy. Maybe there's some celebrations happening. Neptune retrograding in Aries makes me think, when you have the Four of Wands, it's about homecomings, celebrations, marriage and family and friends, reunion, community, stability, and belongings. I think that Neptune is going to bring lifted illusions when it comes to any of those things. If you're having a wedding, maybe there is a beautiful, creative wedding happening there, but a lot of sense of belonging and being aware of where you actually belong, like who's actually your tribe. Okay. Now, for Venus and Virgo, we have King of Pentacles. The finances gets very serious. Okay, starts moving in very slow, but this is the energy of being practical and being a leader, being a king of that. Also, a lot of prosperity. People really will be focusing on abundance in their finances and what they value. This also could be dealing with your health and your physical body, and being aware of that, and being more safe, and being more kind, and being more protective. Also, too, and King of Pentacles is like, let's have the feels, and let's relax and have peace of mind to help our physical heal. All that could be happening while Venus in Virgo, but there is a lot of repeating, redoing, and emotions involved. Okay. Now, July 12th, we have the Cazimi here. The Cazimi is an aha moment. This is when Mercury is fully conjunct the sun. And Cazimis are very much about clarity, especially while we have confusion, even though that is lifted. But I do see, wow, where's the moon with this Cazimi? Because that's the ruler of it. The moon is in Gemini, so it will be communication. Something will be communicated clearly when Mercury is sitting on top of the sun. This is one of the most important days while Mercury is retrograded. It's the halfway point. The word Cazimi comes from an Arabic. No, how do you say it? Aerobic. I don't know why I can't say it. Arabic. An Arabic phrase meaning the heart of the sun, and everything's very strong. Now, I want you to understand this week, as I was just saying Arabic. The Mercury being close to the sun, it doesn't like to be close to the sun because it's blinded by the sun. So everything dealing with travel, communication, emails, any type of communication, day to day organization, it gets a little lost in the sauce. There's emotions. Just move slow and be aware of that. But once it hits the sun, which happens July 12th, there is this aha moment. Okay, and the sun is all about your identity and purpose. It shines a lot on things. It's all about leadership as well and the ego. I do know Trump has this uh Cancer energy in his 12th house. So something will be highlighted for him. We may not see it because it's in his 12th house, but for us, it is about leadership. So there's something there too. Mercury, again, communication, thinking, speaking, learning, writing, contracts, all that. And Cancer is all about the home, about your mom, about your family, about your childhood. Maybe your mom will have clarity on something. Maybe you will have clarity on your mom. It's all about where you're safe. You physically are safe. So it could be a caregiver. It could be dealing with ancestry. It could be dealing with intuition. A dream could be happening, and it's something that's very intuitive and very psychic. And there is clarity with that. So the Kazemi is the moment where you finally understand why the chapter mattered. Things that seem confusing over the past 2 weeks, you start to be aware of it. So you may receive some important news. Even publicly, there could be something on the news dealing with homeland or the home or security. So that could be happening when there's a Kazemi. A difficult conversation is probably had when you have a Kazemi, missing piece of information and it starts to appear. If you have issues with your car, aha, now there's clarity towards it. You change your perspective, a solution presents itself, you understand the lessons behind things. Okay, so it's very mental breakthrough, very honest conversation about family healing. Great time to journal, reflect, meditate, and even create or revisiting any old plans. Okay, so that's what we have for the Kazemi. Let me know how this affects you. The Kazemi really works really strong with all my Cancer signs, all my water signs. The Kazemi will bring a very aha moment for you. So that are my Pisces and my Scorpios. The Kazemi may bring some bad news towards some Aries in early, not in 20, around 20 degrees. Also, some bad news around Libras and Capricorns. Okay. Kazimis are still bringing some awareness, but it's like awareness that you're like, oh crap, my husband's cheating on me. Not saying that's it, but that kind of clarity. Okay. So let's see what we have for this Kazemi for you guys listening. We have the Tower card. That means the foundation you were once standing on is no longer working or was never working. You were dependent on a false foundation, which is interesting because we had the Four of Pentacles earlier. So there's an awareness of the foundation as well. Sudden change, upheaval, revelations, awakening, destruction of old foundations, disaster, trauma, chaos, radical shifts. When this happens, and it's just July 12th. When this happens, you have to release and let go and have faith, believe in God, bear it all, be honest. Also, too, new opportunities when it comes to finances, when it comes to new material offers, the physical body, your health, a new job, a promotion, a new opportunity, being able to manifest. And we have a new moon in Cancer coming up too on the 14th, but there's resources, there's stability, there's prosperity. All that will happen with this Kazemi. And the sign Cancer. So let's talk about this new moon in Cancer, and then we have to close it out because I have to go. Okay, so new moon. First of all, this new moon is going to affect all of my cardinal signs. Okay, all of my cardinal signs. You're like, oh, I don't like this. Very strong for my Cancers, of course, but Aries, Libras, Capricorn, something is going to start new, and it may not be the best for you. All of my water signs. This works really well for you, and that is my Pisces and my Scorpios. Works this new moon in Cancer is going to be really great. Normally, new moons are about looking ahead, but because it's conjunct Mercury retrograde in the sign Cancer, the seed you are planting is something you either are redoing or you're asking for clear emotional baggage to clear the emotional baggage, Are you rethinking of something old, an old story, or maybe there's some old wisdom? Maybe you're using that. It is at 21 degrees. That's the Sagittarius degree. Sagittarius represents the world, travel, being brave, being courageous. Yeah, and so then every time we have a new moon, because sometimes I move too fast. A new moon is about new beginnings, fresh starts, planting seeds, new intentions, manifestations. Great time to manifest with that Mercury retrograding sitting next to it. Write it down, say it. It may be something you already tried to manifest before. New opportunities, emotional renewal, a new lunar cycle. It starts this season here, and hope and faith. I'm not hope and faith, hope and future growth. Okay. So when you have the new moon, it's great to also charge those crystals as well. So be aware of that. Now, it's in the sign Cancer, and the moon is sitting next to the sun. The moon is the ruler of this new moon, so it's extra potent, extra sensitive. The moon Cancer represents your home, your family, your motherhood, emotional security, childhood, ancestry, housing, private life, nourishment, and your intuition, also dreaming. Okay, all water signs are very spiritual and very psychic and very intuitive. At the 21 degrees, which is a Sagittarius degree, there is some faith, there's some optimism, there's truth. Maybe you're also over promising and doing too much. Okay, higher education, publishing. There could be something dealing with long distance. Again, the world, the traveling, teaching, philosophy, spiritual growth, seeing the bigger picture, and overall like the philosophy of things. It conjunct that Mercury though, retrograding again. Remember I told you earlier, Mercury retrograding, or well, Neptune retrograding. I said that retrogrades represent the reviewing, the reflecting, the reconsidering, the reconnecting, the rewriting. All that is going to happen when you're having this new mindset, emotional mindset of things. So you can have some emotional healing. Family conversations are being discussed. You're rewriting your story. You want to release the past and start a new future. Huge themes of home and living, and redoing that. This is very intuitive, though. Cancer naturally heightens intuition. Mercury retrogrades encourage you to listen, break it down, and analyze it. Okay. A lot of emotional intelligence could be happening or not. Hopefully, it's the before. Faith over fear. Okay. Collectively, there could be something dealing with housing and real estate and safety, family policies, something also too dealing with publish and media, religion too, or food security, national identity, again, homeland. Let me see if this affects America real quick. Let me put up, first of all, here's Trump. Let's see what it affects Trump. Trump is sitting on top of his Saturn next to Venus, which is all that Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and also dealing with his wife. Could be also dealing with JD Vance, but it's in secret. And there's something here that's being repeated or resaid regarding his safety. We may not see it though because it's in the 12th house. Just so you know. Far as USA. USA. Oh, Mercury is already retrograding in USA, but it's sitting on top of our Mercury. There could be a discussion or announcement happening, especially with that Cazimi happening. I forgot what the Cazimi, I think it was at 20 degrees. I forgot the degree of the Cazimi, but there could be some type of announcement happening. Let's see what's in the news this day for us, the homeland and safety of stuff, right? But if you are dealing with this new moon, and let me know if you want me to do any other countries. I'm just USA, so I always say it, but you can give me other countries and I'll always put it in there. But journaling, therapy, prayer, setting intentions, family healing, home improvements, studying, teaching, writing, planning your future goals, really communicating. Communication may be a little insensitive or too sensitive, but still, just know that that could be a thing. Okay. Be aware of the insensitive sensitivity of things because it's in Cancer. We have a transition happening for this new moon in Cancer. It's the Six of Swords. Six of Swords means that you are moving in thought and you're transitioning. Sometimes it's to healing, depending on the card. The water is calm. You're leaving behind, you're moving on to calmer waters. There's distance and accepting the lessons from the past for sure. We also have the King of Wands. King of Wands is being motivated and inspired. Very natural born leader. There's visions, there's boldness, there's creativity, a lot of spirituality, charm, entrepreneurship, power, big picture, optimism, taking control. Yeah, that's probably that 21 degrees. Okay. Really taking control and having the courage to move on to calmer waters. Okay. So that is what we have for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. I have videos coming up. I need to do them and prep them. I realize my eyes are covered. I hope they weren't covered too bad. But yes, I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this and you want more. Bye.
Bye bye.